come and steal a small introduction before we get to my part?
Oh,
I'm going to project a bit loud. I'm going to be too loud.
We are a community that appreciates it when it is loud.
Okay. Well, I'll get deeper, I'll get louder, if anything. But I'm going to pass it on to Rama, and we'll get going from there.
And we are very honored to be here today to speak to you. And what we do is we come out to speak to our communities, to speak to the Black and ethnic community about safeguarding awareness and how to safeguard our children within the community that we live in. And we are called AFRUCA, and we've been around for the past 23 years. And we were founded because of the incident of Victoria India. And we wanted to make a difference, and we wanted to make a difference for our own. And we wanted to bring culture into safeguarding. Because our culture and our own heritage and our beliefs and our own background matter. Because it's part of who we are, it's part of what we are. But we cannot also forget that we've come to a place where we have to assimilate and also respect the rules of where we are. Because we all made a conscious choice, maybe unconscious choice, due to whatever issues that made us choose to travel and relocate. But now that we've settled in and we've become part of the community where we are, we have to also take some of their habits, and we have to take respect for what the law says about safeguarding children. And sometimes it clashes with our culture and our own beliefs. And in AFRUCA, we have different branches dealing with different topics and different issues of our communities. We do safeguarding awareness, we do policy and development, we do community engagement, we do modern day slavery, we do child exploitation, we do child safeguarding and child protection. I'm one of the child protection social workers. We do counseling, and we do all the awareness that we believe that our communities need to know to do better and be better. So we've been blessed to come in front of you as a congregation, and why I'm here is just to enlighten everyone that we are a minority ethnic group, but we are overrepresented in the child protection system. And our children are being taken. They are going into foster care, they are being removed. For issues and problems, though, if we were aware and we knew what to do, we'll probably not have that significant problems. And I'm not saying, I know in everybody's mind that there is racial, there is bias, there is prejudice, there's all those other things that comes to mind when other services or services are dealing with Black and ethnic minorities. However, there's also things that we can do for ourselves. And that's also to reflect on how we raise our children and how our culture, so-called culture, has negative impact on what we do. So when we talk about safeguarding, we talk about the Children's Act 1989, we talk about the law. And we work with local authorities in the child protection team. So we get referrals from local authorities to work with Black and ethnic families that are within the child protection system, whether they have their children with them or their children have been taken. And they feel that there's a cultural dilemma or there's a cultural issue which they have not been able to communicate and be able to assess parents in a way that they will change their ways to parent the children better, so they can come over the obstacle and possibly have the children back, have contact, and move forward and work with local authority and understand what local authority wants and what are the worries of local authority. How do we address that? How do we overcome that barrier? By working with ourselves that understand, because we have people from Ghana, Caribbean, West Africa, everywhere. So we speak we speak lots of languages. So that we do sessions in local languages. Because some people, English is not their first language, and it's easier to express yourself when you're speaking and working with someone that looks like you, understand where you're from, and also can challenge you on your narratives and be able to say, yes, this is what we do, but how do we change that? And we get the same response here, but not do what we do back home. So when there's a significant harm, and the categories are sexual abuse, neglect, physical chastisement, and domestic abuse, and in all those areas we're going to and emotional abuse. So today we're going to talk a little bit about neglect, physical chastisement, and emotional abuse. We do internet safety, we do child exploitation, all those topics. But today we focused on counterline and neglect and physical chastisement and emotional abuse. So physical chastisement within the law, it says that you can use reasonable chastisement. Reasonable. But it doesn't say what is reasonable. And it doesn't say why, at what level. It says you should not leave a mark, and you should not use implements. Implements means anything additional, like a belt, a stick, a slipper. Those few things that we sometimes use, that is an implement. Honorable or cooking stick, all those extra is implements that we should stay away from. So within the law, using that, you are breaking the law, which you're adding. But what is reasonable chastisement? For me, reasonable chastisement could be tapping Brian to the shoulder and just getting attention. For another one, it could be a hard slap. So because it says reasonable, you don't know who you're going to meet and what is their perception of reasonable chastisement. Because reasonable there's a perception, there's a gray zone. There's no description in the law that says what reasonable chastisement is. It says do not leave a mark, do not use implements. But then if the way you chastise your child has caused them emotional harm, and they have gone to school or somewhere to disclose that they're being abused, and more that, or anyone has physically chastised them. But to them, might not be as hard as you believe it was, but has given them an emotional impact. And they felt somehow about it. And it has impact on their well-being. That's emotional abuse. Name calling is emotional abuse. Making a child feel small, less than who they are, or make them feel bad about themselves in any shape or form, it's emotional abuse. Anything that makes the other person feel negative, the child feel negatively impacted by what you have said, is emotional abuse. That doesn't say that we can't discipline. We can't discipline because we need to raise our children, we have our ways, but there's definitely discipline and punishment. Discipline is a correction. You're teaching, you're working with the child, you're approaching the issues, you're having discussions, you're giving examples. You are leading them into becoming the kind of person that you want. Punishment, you're inflicting pain, you're inflicting fear, and you want the child to look at you as a superior being. Whereas you are there to coach them and teach them as a parent, you're there to listen. And they're also there to challenge you to become a better parent. And we all know that we don't like challenges. We don't like them looking us in the eye. We don't like them saying what. And we don't like, there's small things that our children do. We're like, why are you doing? Why are you rolling your eyes? Why are you, facing me? But that is confidence. That's them being confident. That's them trying to communicate. That's them. That's what they learn in school here. They teach them to be confident, they teach them to be articulated, they teach them to communicate. They teach them to tell you their feelings. They teach them to be approachable, and to tell people what they want. But then you come home, and you're meant to listen and be actually told. You're not meant to talk back. You're not meant to look me in the eyes, stuff like that. That contradicts what they are meant to be doing out in the society where they are. So how do we merge that? How do we try to not intimidate our children because of what our culture says and what the culture of the society that we are in? How do we merge the two so that we don't find ourselves doing things that we're not supposed to be doing? Then there's the aspect of neglect. Neglect is very broad. It could be not taking your child to the health appointments. It could be not making them socially presentable, not buying what they need, winter jackets, making sure that they are well looked after. And I know sometimes financial struggles and financial restraints can be the reasons for neglect. But when there is reason for neglect, or reaching for any shortcoming as a parent, you seek support. You go to services, you speak to someone at school, you go to Shore Staff, you go to the food bank, you reach out to your imam, you reach out to the people within your community, and you ask for help and you ask for support. That's why we have community, that's why we have each other. So instead of living within those shortcomings and falling into the category of neglect or even working hours, we all come here from a mission, we all have financial gain, we have houses that we want to build back home, we have other things that we dream about, and we have extended family, extended responsibilities that people that live here and abroad here probably do not have. But that does not mean that we should neglect our children, because we chose to have those children. We prayed for those children. We gave birth to those children. We chose to have those children. So therefore, it's our God-given responsibility to look after them as we are meant to. So whatever dreams and aspirations we have to manage them within the needs of our children. Sometimes we do forget that. We think that we work and make all this money for our children, but they don't see us. We don't talk to them. We don't check in. We don't know how they feel. We don't go to sometimes parental meetings. We miss school plays. All those things matter because it's time that you take to build a relationship with your child. When you know your child, you know what's going on with your child. And therefore you can address problems before they become issues. Before your child changes to something that you don't know, you wake up one day and you're surprised. You've not been there for the first 10 years because you're busy doing double shift, working, making all that money, making all this provision, giving them Xboxes and PlayStations, but you are not there. The parent is to be there, is to be available, is to guide, is to teach. And you can't teach and be available and guide and build a relationship and communicate when you're not there. So that's the first one. You have to be present. Or leaving your child home alone. There's no law, in the law there's no age that says this is the age you can leave your child home alone. But there's requirements that your child has to be able to keep themselves safe. And they have to be away from risk of harm. They need to be able to seek help. They need to be able to know who to call. Sometimes a 10-year-old can be more mature than a 16-year-old. That's why the law doesn't have age, because it's the mental capacity of the child to keep himself safe. And not all children have that. And for how long are you leaving your child, or who are you leaving your child with? Where are you going? What time of the day? What time of the night is it? So all those things need to be considered, because that is willful neglect, which you can be prosecuted for. Because you have willfully chosen to neglect and leave your child alone, and that is breaking the law. Even though the law doesn't have an age, you as a parent have that responsibility to make sure your child is safe from harm, or they're not likely or unlikely to suffer from harm. And you're not putting them in harm's way, you're not putting them in an environment that will cause them harm. Whether it's school, mosque, anywhere that your child associates, needs to be an environment of harm. And then, there's also a contextual safeguarding. And that's the issues that's not within our homes, it's the issues that's within our communities, it's outside of the immediate families, where they circulate, who they go out with, what time they're out, the areas that they befriend them, people that befriend them. And it's also the online safety and the online exploitation that they bring to your home because of their phones and their mobiles. But then coming to Counterline, and our children are overrepresented in Counterline, and we are having a very big issue around that. And this is our Counterline manager, Brian, and he's going to talk about it in depth.
So I'm aware that we have 1 minute left, so I'm going to leave my portion to after prayers, and we'll do some further talk about Counterline and some questions and answers, please.